Think you know everything about classic big rigs? Think again. Welcome to the weird, wild, and wonderfully bizarre world of vintage trucking. Today we are uncovering 10 bizarre classic heavy trucks that look like they drove straight out of a science fiction movie or a wild fever dream. From a terrifyingly fast racing monster equipped with jet fighter levels of forced induction to a massive rig famously nicknamed the Rolling Refrigerator, these machines will absolutely blow your mind. And make sure you stick around for number 7, because you won't believe how a tiny, bizarre corrugated metal vehicle sneaked its way onto our heavy-duty list. Hit that subscribe button, let us know your favorite truck in the comments, and let's get rolling. Kicking off our list at number 1 is a truck that proves heavy-duty aerodynamics does not have to look boring: the Navistar International Lonestar. Introduced in the late 2000s, the Lonestar was heavily inspired by the classic 1939 International Harvester D series, bringing an undeniable Art Deco hot rod aesthetic to the modern American highway. It is a massive, sweeping masterpiece of chrome and curves that looks more like a custom street rod than a standard Class 8 heavy-duty hauler. Its iconic sloping hood and massive aerodynamic grille make it instantly recognizable, designed specifically for the proud owner-operator who truly wanted to stand out. But this truck was not just built for show, it was designed for grueling long-haul missions across the endless American interstates. Underneath that beautiful retro-futuristic exterior lies a highly advanced, wind tunnel-tested aerodynamic design that significantly cuts down on drag and fuel consumption. It is a true heavy-duty workhorse capable of pulling maximum legal payloads of up to 80,000 pounds coast to coast without breaking a single sweat. The interior is just as wild, often likened to a luxury yacht or a premium recreational vehicle, featuring hardwood-style floors, a swiveling workspace, and a massive premium sleeper cabin for the ultimate cross-country comfort. Because of its unique status as a factory custom rig, the Lonestar holds incredible value in the trucking community. While a standard used fleet truck depreciates rapidly, a well-maintained, fully customized classic Lonestar can still command prices well over $100,000 on the premium used market today. It is a rolling piece of art that actually pays the bills, successfully bridging the gap between raw classic passion and modern efficiency. But if you think the Lonestar is a wild piece of design, just wait until you see the custom-built sci-fi V8 monster we have coming up next on our list. Enter the Scania Chimera, a truck that looks less like a commercial vehicle and more like the personal transport of a comic book supervillain. Unlike anything else on the road, the Chimera was never meant to haul cargo. It was birthed from the brilliant, slightly mad mind of legendary Swedish custom truck builder Sven-Erik Bergendahl. This is a pure, unadulterated show truck designed to showcase the absolute maximum engineering potential of Scania's renowned powertrains. The Chimera features an entirely exposed mid-engine architecture, a bespoke tubular stainless steel frame, and an aggressively slammed stance that puts the driver practically on the pavement. The heart of this beast is what truly makes it a terrifying monster. It is powered by a heavily modified 16.4-liter Scania V8 engine that is completely exposed to the elements. To make things truly absurd, the builder equipped it with not 1 but 6 massive turbochargers. This impossible setup generates a mind-bending 1,460 horsepower. This allows the heavyweight machine to accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.6 seconds. Imagine a machine weighing roughly 10,500 pounds, launching off the starting line faster than a brand new Porsche 911. Because the Chimera is a one-of-a-kind bespoke creation, its financial value is practically incalculable. It is a priceless museum piece and a legendary icon in the global trucking community, representing thousands of hours of master craftsmanship. It is a machine built purely for the love of extreme engineering and show-stopping power, designed to drop jaws at truck shows everywhere. But looking incredibly fast is one thing. Actually breaking real-world speed records with twin Detroit diesel V8 engines? That is exactly what our next legendary tire-shredding Australian racing truck is all about, so buckle up for number 3. If you thought the Chimera was extreme, prepare yourself for the Bandag Bullet, arguably the most terrifyingly powerful racing truck ever conceived. Born in the land down under, the Bullet is an Australian motorsport legend that took the concept of a big rig and strapped a metaphorical rocket to it. Built by the visionary Frank Gaffiero, this truck was never designed to haul heavy freight. It was designed to obliterate quarter-mile drag strips and put on the most violent smoke shows the world had ever seen. The sheer presence of this machine screaming on the track is pure automotive theater. The secret to the Bandag Bullet's impossible speed lies directly behind the cab. It is powered not by one but by two massive Detroit diesel 8V92 V8 engines linked together in a tandem configuration. To make matters even more insane, these twin two-stroke V8s are equipped with 2 superchargers and 4 turbochargers. This catastrophic amount of forced induction results in a total displacement of 24 liters, producing an earth-shattering 2,800 horsepower. This allowed the Bullet to achieve a terminal speed of roughly 190 miles per hour, annihilating rear tires in mere seconds. Today, the Bandag Bullet is considered a priceless piece of Australian automotive history, deeply revered by racing enthusiasts all across the globe. You simply cannot put a price tag on a machine with this kind of legendary pedigree and sheer terrifying mechanical violence. It remains a beautiful testament to the crazy, boundary-pushing spirit of classic big-rig motorsport. Speed and massive tire smoke are undeniably great, but what if a classic truck was designed so weirdly that the driver actually sits entirely ahead of the front wheels? Meet our next quirky, flat-faced British classic waiting at number 4. Stepping away from the drag strip and onto the bustling streets of 1960s Britain, we find the remarkably quirky Bedford TK. At first glance, the TK almost looks like it is missing the entire front half of its body. Introduced in 1959, this truck revolutionized light-to-medium heavy-duty transport with its incredibly unique flat-face cab-over engine design. But the real bizarre factor here is the ergonomics. The engine is mounted longitudinally just behind the cab, and the cab is positioned so far forward that the driver literally sits entirely ahead of the front axle, creating a truly strange driving dynamic. This unique design gave the driver an almost unimpeded panoramic view of the road directly below them, a sensation that many drivers compared to sitting in a low-flying helicopter. The Bedford TK was built for the seemingly impossible mission of navigating the incredibly narrow, winding, and heavily congested streets of mid-century British towns. Because the driver sat so far forward, the truck had an astonishingly tight turning circle and unparalleled visibility. This made it the absolute perfect heavy-duty vehicle for tight urban deliveries, fire engines, and even military transports, moving millions of pounds of goods across the United Kingdom. Today, the Bedford TK has transitioned from a humble, everyday workhorse to a highly sought-after vintage collectible. Due to rust and heavy commercial usage over the decades, very few pristine examples survive today, pushing their overall value up significantly among classic commercial vehicle restorers. A beautifully restored TK can easily fetch tens of thousands of dollars at classic car auctions. The Bedford was certainly quirky and completely flat-faced, but our next classic American truck literally earned the hilarious nickname, the Rolling Refrigerator. Let us head back to the United States to uncover the boxy beast at number 5. Welcome to the 1980s, an era of bold experiments in the American trucking industry, and the birthplace of the legendary Mack MH series, better known as the Ultraliner. When you first look at it, you immediately understand why truckers affectionately and sometimes mockingly nicknamed it the Rolling Refrigerator. It is a massive, incredibly boxy and flat-faced cab-over that looks exactly like a giant kitchen appliance hurtling down the interstate highway. But beneath that bizarre, blocky exterior was a piece of revolutionary technology that completely changed the heavy-duty trucking game forever. It introduced the world to the maxi-glass cab. The impossible mission Mack set out to solve was the eternal enemy of all classic trucks: heavy vehicle weight and relentless rust. By constructing the entire cab out of high-strength reinforced fiberglass composite, Mack created a truck that was remarkably lighter than its steel competitors. This allowed operators to haul thousands of extra pounds of profitable freight on every single trip. More importantly, the fiberglass cab was completely immune to rust and corrosion, a massive advantage for trucks operating on the snowy, salt-covered roads of the American Northeast. It was tough, highly innovative, and powered by Mack's bulletproof Econodyne diesel engines. Because of its incredibly unique fiberglass construction, surviving ultraliners are highly prized in today's vintage market. While a standard steel truck from the 1980s might have completely rotted away to nothing by now, the maxi-glass cabs of the ultraliners have stood the test of time remarkably well. Classic truck enthusiasts will happily pay top dollar, often upwards of $40,000 to $60,000, for a clean running piece of this fiberglass history. While Mack successfully built a rolling refrigerator, another classic American company decided they wanted to build a literal spaceship for the highway. Let us check it out. Cruising straight out of the 1970s is the White Road Commander II, a truck that perfectly encapsulates the space-age futuristic aesthetic of its vibrant era. This was the absolute golden age of the American cabover, driven by strict overall length laws that force manufacturers to cram the cab directly over the engine to maximize trailer space. But White Motor Company did not just build a functional, boring box, they built a bold, heavily stylized machine. With its massive, imposing chrome grille, striking geometric lines, and expansive windshield, it looked like a command module ready for interstate space travel. The Road Commander II was tasked with the grueling mission of long-haul, cross-country freight during a time when trucking was becoming deeply ingrained in American pop culture. This was the iconic era of CB radios, classic trucker movies, and endless ribbons of brand-new interstate highways. Inside, the cab was designed for maximum driver comfort for its time, featuring luxurious 1970s vinyl, advanced sound deadening, and a wraparound dashboard that made the driver feel like an airline pilot. It was a premium, heavy-duty machine designed to conquer the vast expanses of the American West in absolute style. Today, the White Road Commander II is a massive nostalgia trip for any true fan of vintage highway haulers. Because White Motor Company eventually faced financial difficulties and its assets were absorbed by Volvo in the early 80s, these trucks are now incredibly rare. Finding a pristine Road Commander II is like finding a needle in a haystack, and dedicated classic truck collectors are willing to pay a premium, sometimes reaching $70,000 to own it. All right, we have seen towering giants, but absolutely nothing prepares you for the bizarre tiny vehicle hiding at number 7. Wait a minute, what is this tiny thing doing here? You are looking at the Citroen 2CV Truckette, officially known as the Fourgonette. Yes, it is incredibly tiny. Yes, it looks like a corrugated metal snail, or perhaps a small garden shed on wheels. And no, it obviously cannot tow an 80,000-pound trailer down the highway, so why on earth is it on a list of bizarre heavy trucks? Because in the post-World War II agricultural landscapes of France, this bizarre little machine performed heavy-duty logistical miracles that massive big rigs simply could not physically achieve. The secret to this tiny vehicle's impossible missions lies in its legendary, almost mythical suspension system. The original 2CV was famously designed with a strict engineering requirement. It had to be able to carry a basket of eggs across a freshly plowed field without breaking a single one. The brilliant interconnected suspension allowed this tiny van to carry heavy payloads of farm produce, wine barrels, and construction materials across the most brutally destroyed, muddy, and unpaved rural roads in Europe. It was a heavy-duty workhorse disguised as an umbrella on wheels, reaching isolated farms where massive trucks would instantly sink. Because of its undeniable charm and incredible historical significance, the 2CV Truckette has achieved massive cult status worldwide. Do not let its humble two-cylinder origins fool you. These corrugated tin cans are worth an absolute fortune today. Pristine, fully restored examples have shocked the classic car auction world, sometimes selling for $30,000 to $40,000, prices that easily rival actual classic heavy-duty rigs. From a tiny, heroic French agricultural workhorse, we are about to pivot to an absolute Soviet-era behemoth. You simply will not believe what our next terrifying truck was built to haul behind it. Leaving the muddy farms of France behind, we enter the chilling industrial landscape of the Cold War with the Tatra 141. Built in Czechoslovakia, this massive imposing machine is the sheer definition of a heavy-duty behemoth. The Tatra 141 was not just a regular cargo truck, it was a heavy ballast tractor designed specifically to move the immovable. Visually, it is absolutely terrifying. It features a massive, rounded, armored-looking cab sitting high above huge off-road tires, projecting an aura of absolute, unstoppable Eastern Bloc industrial might. It looks like it could drive straight through a solid brick wall. The Tatra 141 was specifically engineered for the most impossible transport missions of the Cold War era. Its primary job was to haul massive, specialized trailers carrying incredible loads, weighing well over 220,000 pounds. We are talking about transporting heavy military tanks, massive industrial transformers, and entire railway locomotives across incredibly rugged, unpaved terrains. The secret to its superhuman strength was Tatra's legendary backbone tube chassis and independent swinging half-axles. Paired with a massive air-cooled V12 diesel engine, it could maintain unbelievable traction while pulling titanic weights over mud and snow where standard trucks snapped. Because the Tatra 141 was heavily restricted strictly to military and heavy industrial use behind the Iron Curtain, it remains an incredibly rare and exotic sight in the Western world. Today, military vehicle collectors and heavy machinery enthusiasts view this beast as the absolute holy grail of off-road towing. Finding one fully intact is incredibly difficult, and they command massive respect and extremely high prices in the global collector market. The Tatra was undeniably a terrifying beast, but another Iron Curtain survivor had a design so incredibly simple and rugged, it is practically indestructible. Let us check it out. Remaining behind the Iron Curtain, we uncover the IFA G5, a brutal classic truck that perfectly defines the phrase "built like a tank." Manufactured in East Germany during the 1950s and 60s, the G5 was an uncompromising, brutalist piece of machinery designed for pure survival. It completely lacked any form of driver comfort, modern aerodynamics, or shiny civilian styling. Instead, it offered a flat, sharply angled military-style cab, massive ground clearance, and a highly robust 6x6 all-wheel drive system. It was a rugged truck built for a world where paved roads were a luxury and spare parts were non-existent. The impossible mission of the IFA G5 was simply to keep the East German economy and military moving forward under the harshest conditions imaginable. Whether it was serving as a heavy troop transport in freezing muddy forests, a riot control water cannon vehicle, or a rugged crane operator on desolate construction sites, the G5 simply never quit. Its roughly 120 horsepower diesel engine was not fast by any means, but it produced relentless tractor-like torque. The truck was intentionally designed to be repaired in the middle of nowhere with nothing but a basic hammer and simple hand tools. With the historic fall of the Berlin Wall, the vast majority of these tough trucks were sadly scrapped, making the IFA G5 an exceptionally rare piece of Cold War history today. Classic military vehicle collectors highly prize the G5 for its rugged simplicity and fascinating historical narrative. Fully operational models are rare artifacts that can pull in significant sums from dedicated European collectors who value industrial durability over shiny chrome. We have traveled the globe, but for our final bizarre truck, we are heading to the absolute harshest environment on Earth to meet the ultimate heavy-duty survivor. To completely close out our list, we journey to the scorching, unforgiving expanse of the Australian outback to witness the mighty Mack Valueliner. Do not let the word value in its name deceive you. While the name originally started as a budget fleet spec in the United States and Australia, there is absolutely nothing cheap or weak about this monster. Nicknamed the Outback Conqueror, the Australian-built Valueliner took the standard rugged Mack architecture and injected it with heavy-duty steroids. It was heavily modified to survive the deadliest, hottest, and most demanding commercial trucking environment on the entire planet. The Valueliner was built for the ultimate impossible mission, pulling massive Australian road trains. In the outback, trucks do not pull just one trailer, they pull 3 or 4 heavily loaded trailers at a time. These extreme setups stretch over 160 feet long and weigh well over 330,000 pounds. Equipped with Mack's legendary heavy-duty V8 engines, the Valueliner hauled these gargantuan loads across hundreds of miles of desolate, scorching dirt roads. A mechanical breakdown out there could literally mean life or death, so this truck simply had to be invincible. Today, the mighty Mack Valueliner is rightfully regarded as an absolute national treasure in Australia. It perfectly represents the golden era of extreme heavy haulage, and retired models are deeply revered by truckers everywhere. Fully restored Valueliners are highly prized centerpieces at major truck shows, easily fetching well over $100,000 as collectors desperately clamor to own a piece of the ultimate outback legend. This massive V8 beast is the perfect way to wrap up our journey through the weirdest and toughest classic trucks ever made. Let us know which one blew your mind the most. In short, from the speed monster Bandag Bullet to the tiny legend Citroen 2CV, these 10 machines redefine the limits of trucking. Each truck stands as a testament to boundless human creativity. Which of these legends impressed you the most? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss our next classic truck adventure. Thank you for watching, keep on trucking, and see you next time.